Thanks to the Minnesota Lottery for assistance with X's and O's featuring Minnesota Vikings head coach Mike Zimmer. We do this weekly, and we have Halloween football on Sunday night, 7:20 for the kickoff against the Dallas football Cowboys. And the head coach of the Vikings joins us now, where the local crowd, you know, it's a pretty smart football fan base with teams here, with the team here for as long as the Vikings have been here. So it doesn't necessarily, in my opinion, need reminders to get loud. But correct me if I'm wrong here. With the way Dak and Dallas run offense, I mean, I'm watching the TV copy of the last few games. It's just everything Dak does at the line of scrimmage. So, I mean, we talk about it a lot, Coach, but this Sunday night, the fans can jack this game up by throwing Dak off, right?
Yeah, this can be really important this week to have a really loud raucous stadium. These guys do a lot of things at the line of scrimmage. He makes a lot of different checks, and whether they're in the running game or the passing game, they do both.
When you call out defensive plays, has it ever taken you as long as it just took me to get that first question out, so that like
couple
all of
times,
it,
yes.
It cuts off at 15 and they don't get the totality of the call?
Yeah, a couple times, which really is a bad rule anyway, because a lot of times the offense doesn't send players in until after 15.
Speaking of bad rules, holy cow, I can't believe that I haven't even asked you about this away from cameras or microphones. But at Charlotte, oh my God, when your offense was out there, it was the loudest freaking concert that I've ever heard in my life. And when the Panthers offense was out there, it was silent. That's okay, I get it. That's per the rules. But did you notice that and like say something to the NFL via operations or whatever? It was ridiculous.
We did talk about it. It was they're supposed to cut it off with I believe it's 20 seconds left.
Ooh.
But they were going a little bit longer than they were supposed
to.
See
See how the football gods work? They didn't cut it off. They got whooped the next game by the New York Giants, who probably played no music and still found a way to win the game. Dak Prescott, what's challenging with that quarterback?
Well, there's so many things. He throws the ball great. I think he's got a great command of the offense. He moves around in the pocket well. He uses his legs. Against Carolina, he moved his legs to get out of some bad situations. And they can do so many different things. Whether it's running the zone read or him rolling out and throwing the football, bootlegs, and a lot of different things that he can do.
With Dak, he's only been sacked twice the last 3 games. So their offensive line was Zach Martin, Tyron Smith, 11th year, and so on. But how does he handle the blitz? Just an overview. Is he a good guy to blitz or not?
Well, he's a guy that will get the ball out early, and they've got some plays where if he sees the blitz coming, he'll check to, we call it a shield play, where the number 3 receiver runs to the flat and they block for him, and so he gets the ball out in time.
So football's complicated, isn't it?
Some days.
Shield plays, I heard you break down like cornerback technique and everything. I'm like, now, with your offense against their defense, Michael Parsons, that first-round pick from Penn State, your offense versus their defense, what do you like?
Well, they're a really fast playing defense. They've got a lot of different personnel groups that they use. Dan Quinn is the defensive coordinator who's been there for just this year, but came from Atlanta and also with Seattle. So they're going to be basically a 4-down front, but they're going to move guys in different spots, and they're very aggressive. Their defensive line runs a lot of stunts. They'll run a lot of 3-deep coverages. So, I feel good about the things we can do, and if we can get some guys moving, get out of gaps, we've got a chance to hit some big plays.
Now, having Patrick Peterson is obviously preferred, but you won't have him, and this is no knock on anybody else, but in this game, not having him, Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, the rest of the guys, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, it's going to be some tough matchups. We're going to have to help the guys in certain situations. They do such a good job with not only him, but the tight end Schultz. He's a good player. And then they get the ball to the backs quite a bit on some of the screens. But, they're going to have to be out there on the island some, and they're going to have to go out and compete.
Other than Peterson not playing, the full strength, right? I mean, full arsenal pretty much. Michael Pierce coming back, or is he doing okay?
Yeah, we hope so. We'll find out a little bit more later this week.
Good. And in a game like this against Elliott and or Pollard, I felt Armon Watts played well at Charlotte. Did you? And B, is this a great game to have Pierce?
Yeah, this would be a great game to have Pierce. But Armand played very well last week. Probably his best game since he's been here. I thought he did a nice job of playing blocks, getting off of blocks, and going and make tackles.
How well did you get to know Cowboys owner Jerry Jones when you were there? And if anyway, how did he impact your career?
Well, I was there 13 years, so I got to know him very well. I've been down to his hunting ranches several times. He impacted me a lot with just the way that he can communicate to people, the way that he can sell my shirt off of my back to me. He's just one of those guys, and he's very energetic, really a great person.
Did you, during the off week, did you happen to watch any football, watch any NFL games, or like how's that work with a head coach?
I watched a little bit on tape, and then I watched a little bit, casually on TV, but I'm just trying to get away from it a little bit.
Will you, when you're done with your duties tomorrow, Thursday, will you watch any Green Bay, Arizona?
I'm sure I'll probably have it on in the background. Usually what I do is I go home at night, get the iPad out, start to study. I'll have some TV show on in the background so that I can kind of look up once in a while and see what's going on. But usually Thursday nights is football.
Mike Zimmer, X's and O's, KFAN, Minnesota Vikings Radio Network, and Vikings.com. So like a day for you, maybe arriving at Twin Cities Orthopedics Performance Center 5 or 5:30, starting with tape, film, iPads, meetings, practice, meetings, more film, more iPad, then go home and whip out the iPad?
Yep. Usually I get here about 4:20.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy cow. I mean, I understand it's a labor of love, but I mean, and I mean, it's.
Well, what else could I be doing?
Well, you can.
It's fun.
Watching Green Bay and Arizona and, maybe rooting for Kyler so you can try to run down somebody in the division. I understand. Is it when it comes to watching games, like even if you watch just a little bit, background or whatever, as a head coach where your career and job is predicated on watching things critically, and that's not critically, that's the TV copy. I mean, is it even enjoyable at all?
I get a few things out of it. Sometimes you'll hear the announcers talk about certain things, and sometimes you'll hear, I'll see poor plays that guys have made, or this guy missed a tackle. I wonder what kind of leverage he had, things like that. And then, toward the end of the game, what I like to do is kind of figure out, all right, there's 1 minute left. Are they going to call timeout here? Are they going to, clock the ball? Those different situations. Will they go for 2? Will they go for, go for it on 4th down? Situations like that. It's fun to watch.
Right. Safety Xavier Woods played 4 seasons with the Dallas Cowboys. Do you seek any form of intel from him, or just like with Dan Quinn and things are so ever changing, does that even matter?
Well, I don't know that it matters, but we always talk. Any insight that we can get, we want to do, of course.
But do you have to guard yourself from paralysis by overanalysis? Like you may be looking at one thing one way, somebody says another, and then you're like, hey, and then your way was right.
Well, I think the big thing is, Paul, when you practice against somebody, for 4 years, you practice against those receivers, practice against some of the running backs, the quarterback. I think he's got an idea of what he can tell some of the other players.
How has Xavier helped the defense, not only this season, but really of late?
Well, I thought he's done really, really well. He's had some big hits over the middle, which I thought have been really good. These quarterbacks throwing the ball over the middle of the field. He's had some big hits. He had a couple interceptions against Arizona. He's been helping to get guys lined up, and so those are all been good. 0
sacks on Kirk at Carolina. In fact, 48 consecutive passes, no sacks, no interceptions, a team record. What of late are you liking about your offensive line?
Well, I thought we had a good mix of protections. Number one, I thought they bring a lot of different pressures. I thought that we did a really good job, and when we had chances to block one-on-one, I thought we did a good job there as well. And he got the ball out. The receivers did a nice job getting to the right spots.
Lastly, when the game becomes helter-skelter, a frenzy, and everybody's running all over the place, and you got to get down there and beat Detroit, you got to get down there and beat Carolina in overtime. There goes KJ. TJ. And even in the Cleveland game, you're throwing into the end zone to tie it and it didn't work. Arizona, I mean, it's pretty much been every game. Why is Kirk so good in those situations? And like, how does he get a play? You know, or is it just pretty much his doing at the line?
Well, typically he gets a play, but a lot of times, you know, he'll have the opportunity to adjust it, you know. But it's going to go quick. We practice those situations all the time. You know, I think we even done more this year, goods on goods and some of that, and I think that's maybe helped. But I think the preparation is the most important thing. You know, he's prepared for those situations when they come up.
Mike Zimmer, head coach of the Minnesota Vikings, and I'm Paul Allen. Offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak joins us around the corner. Thank you very much. An early happy Halloween and good luck Sunday.
Thank you, Paul.
We'll be right back on the KFAN Minnesota Vikings Radio Network.